So for this month I am doing a old school kind of vintage vibe light lamp theme. I decided to go with this old style book, like Times New Roman kind of font. I think it looks really aesthetic with the theme that I'm going, and my color palette for my Crayola super tips that I'll be using throughout this month's spread range from yellow, dark brown to this tan kind of color. For my quote page, I decided to go with The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. For those who haven't seen it, I would highly recommend. It's a really nice feel-good kind of movie starring Ben Stiller. And I just thought it was a really beautiful quote, and this would fit this spread's theme quite well. Now I did really want to get some crisp straight lines on this, so I did decide to go in with a ruler, not for all of it, but for this one especially for the title page. I just wanted it to be really even and look more aesthetic.
Nobody's stealing covers. I like to drink to myself, so I'ma have another no. I don't need a hand to hold tight, don't need a love that's all mine. But sometimes I just want somebody to talk to, someone that's on my mind.
Now moving on to my monthly spread. As I've said in my previous one, I do actually like to use 2 whole pages because this is my go-to look for the month rather than using my weekly spreads. I do go into more details in those, but this is my overall view for the month, so I utilize this quite a lot. I'll do a flip through probably at the end of the year once I've gone through and built up my bullet journal, so you can see how it all looks at the end of the year. Now instead of drawing out my boxes and outlining them, I decided just to colour them in with my yellow Crayola super tip and then draw in the days of the month a little later. Now I've used 2 different fonts for this, so very slurred, cursive kind of font, as along with my old book style Times New Roman one as well that you'll see throughout both. And I feel like both give off a very nice vintage book vibe, which is what I was going for.
Oh, take me on this journey home. I don't wanna wait no more. Lay me down behind the moon. Tell me you'll be on real soon. I don't wanna wait no more. We could be dancing in the stars. We could be floating on the way. As long as I'm safely in your arms, and it don't really matter where we stay. Cause space makes me sad. Cause space makes me sad. So now we're going to your bedroom. Don't you think we're moving too soon? I love to hear you when you complain about your best friend, how she's so late. And as you're talking, I start thinking, all the details start to sink in. But I don't care about the right now. I'll spend the summer in this beach house. Cause I will try to play my part.
Now I wanted to add a little something along the bottom, but not necessarily another note section because obviously I already have one on this spread. So I did want to add in some little like fairy-like kind of string just along the bottom of the page, just to give it a little something else. Now onto my habit and mood tracker. Now again, continuing on with my old vintage light bulb theme, I guess, and going back in with my old-timey print font. I've just gone in and drawn in each of my habit trackers in different sections, very different from last month, but this is how I generally do it. If you match it up to exactly how the month is spread out on a calendar, then it's a lot easier to go back in without having to number.
With you, okay. I'm your sunshine mixed with a little hurricane, white hot angel with a daredevil's brain. This feeling, I just can't fight it.
Now I did just want to give this page a little bit of, like, a little extra pop of colour just in the corner, so I decided to just do a very simple colour block with my yellow Crayola Super Tips just in the corner of the page. So like even out the tone. Onto my mood tracker, so obviously I'm sticking with my light theme, and I've just gone through and drawn a bunch of little light bulbs, and at the top, on those 3 top squares, I'll be putting in my colour code and just filling that out like I normally would for a mood tracker. Just with the top 3 squares for my mood tracker key, I didn't want to make it really uniform and squared, so I did actually rub out my markers for where I wanted the squares to go. I made it really rough, like old paper. How if it's torn, it's not a clean cut down the side. Onto my sleep tracker, another very stylish street lamp for you all to enjoy. This is pretty basic. All of my sleep trackers will be the same throughout the year and each of my monthly spreads, largely because my 2020 bullet journal, I experimented with how I wanted to arrange my sleep trackers, and this is the one that I found was most helpful to me and the easiest to like contemplate and when looking back and trying to like figure out how much sleep's left. Again, just going in with that color block, the corner page. Again, just going in with that color block for the corner of the page and going in and coloring in my lamp. And now that's all done. It does look a little bit blank, but when I go through and do a flip through at the end of the year when it's all filled out, you can see that this particular kind of sleep tracker does look very aesthetic, very colorful once it is filled in. And same goes for my expense trackers. These will all look the same throughout the majority of the year, just because it is meant to be a quick thing that I glance at and I can have a look and know what I'm looking at. And some people do prefer to go a little bit more detailed and break it into more sections, i.e. your grocery shopping, your bills, your leisure activities, so on and so forth, how much you spend on food. I don't really need to do that so much because I don't have that many expenses, so I just break it up as I go. And then if I'm looking for something specific, my description is generally detailed enough that I can just look at it at a glance and go straight to that and be like, okay, this is how much I've spent on this.
I don't need a hand to hold tight, don't need a love that's all mine, but sometimes I just want somebody to talk to, someone that's on my mind. I want something that's all cool, and it don't waste my time. Yeah, I just want somebody.
And on to my weekly spread. Now again, I'm not sure if you watched from the last one, I do only do one weekly spread per month. Just to start, I've allowed myself a little bit of wiggle room in the following pages, just if I wanted to add some more in, but I don't use my weekly spread as much as I do my monthly spread, so I don't utilize this section as much. So I do 1 week per month, I generally pick the busiest week of that month, and then I utilize this page for that week. Again, just going in with this very stylish, realistic version of a light bulb, which realism is not my forte in my drawing, but I'm actually quite proud of this. I thought it turned out really well. And again, just going in with a cursive for this particular weekly spread and going in and colored it. And I added a new little weather section for my weekly spread just to see, and I will be going back in and putting in the date for each of those in that column that I just pointed out a little later on once I decide which week I will be using. This particular section I'm just leaving blank for now, and it can be for notes or for anything, whatever I want to use it for. I have actually put in a recipe that I found recently in that section, so it worked out well. Again, here's my typewriter font, and I've just drawn it out so I can refer back to that as I go back in and fill out this little monthly spread. Now, I'm not sure about all of you, but I am a 90s kid, so having little tape recorders like this and VCRs, I still actually have a CD Walkman that I own and can use. And my MP3 player still works, but I am a full-on 90s kid, so this aesthetic really just, even though it's not super vintage, although I guess it is now, even though it's not super vintage in regards to the rest of my theme, I thought it fit well. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed my February spread, and let me know down below, comment, like, and subscribe if you have any more ideas or something that you particularly want to see for a future spread or theme. Okay, bye guys!